Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the YouTube video. And in this one, I'm going to be giving you guys my best tips and tricks on how to get the most face of the franchise cards and feature stars as quick as possible and be able to get as many as possible. So yeah, as you guys can see in the background here, I'm currently sitting on right around 7 future face of the franchise cards. I mean, my rotation especially gotten good enough to where I'm not even really having to rely on these guys anymore. Blake Snell and Ohtani kind of sitting on the bench there, but I am able to get a lot of these future stars cards pretty fast, and I even have Nolan Jones currently. So yeah, let me go ahead and show you guys how I do this, and some general tips for showdown and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and use the Indians here as a pretty good example. They are the only team I have completed all 120 points so far for, but I think they're a pretty good, pretty good benchmark here. So as you guys can see, I've gotten 70 on stage 1 and then the 50 on stage 2, and basically how I did that is I remember on stage 1 I hopped into 2 separate showdowns, had to complete through every single one, and how I personally do those showdowns is I play out every single moment until I really have it's basically down to about a 5 or 6 round deficit, and then I'll go ahead and face the final boss. I feel like that gives me the best chance to really not waste my time and have to start all the way over by overestimating my chances on the boss. I feel like that's a pretty good amount of gap you can give yourself. 5 or 6 runs in 15 ounce, or actually 20 ounce, I apologize, is very, very doable, and I feel like you guys can really do that pretty easily. But yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where it's kind of based on your skill, how what stage that's in. I mean, really, you can get that lead down to about 5 or 6 runs if maybe after the second boss. But for some of you guys, it might be all the way through the entire game. So it just kind of depends on your skill level there. But that's kind of my general tip for showdown. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that one right now. Okay, so as we're in here to showdown, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the stage 2 American League one here. So I mean, you got 3 and then a boss, 3 and then a boss, and then 3 and then the final boss. Basically, for pretty much every single one of these, you guys are gonna be pretty much earning 1 to 2 kind of runs chipping at that 15 run deficit. But I mean, basically, if you can get past the second boss, that's pretty much where I like to go with it. That can pretty much get me to about maybe a 5 or 6 run lead, and that's basically what I've been talking about. But say I'm having maybe a weaker run, and then I'll probably go play through the whole thing, get as many diamonds as possible. Kind of give myself the best chance. That's really the best tip I can give you, is give yourself the best possible chance going into that final boss. It may take a little bit longer, but it's definitely going to be worth it than having to start all the way back over at 0. So yeah. And also some tips for the final boss. You guys are always going to want to make sure you're getting that pitcher's energy as low as possible. Take pitches. Only swing at pitches you can drive, get hits with. And also, you guys got to kind of keep a good state of mind. Keep in mind that you're probably going to get some lineouts. You're going to get some unfavorable calls against you in the game. You just got to keep that in mind. Got to deal with some adversity there, and just kind of take some deep breaths, relax, and just play the game regardless of what the game's going to give you as a result. But yeah, keep a good state of mind. Try to get the pitcher's energy and confidence as low as possible, because remember, the pitcher will stay in there as long as possible. There's no bullpen guys they're possibly going to go to. So it's mainly just chipping away at the lead and just taking pitches, getting his energy as low as possible, so that way he's really missing some spots, you're getting yourself some walks. And yeah, those are pretty much the tips I have for showdown. Let's go ahead and hop back in to the Team Affinities. Okay, so I'm back on the Indians here, and as you guys can see, I'm going to go ahead and scroll through the mission stage here. This is stage 2, but you got 250 Indians with Cleveland players. Again, that's just kind of, maybe you set a lineup of all Cleveland Indians players just to get 5 points towards that Nolan Jones card. But again, this is a great example of a challenge you really don't need to be doing. It's going to take a lot longer than just playing a showdown, so I really don't recommend these first 2, just playing them with Indians with Indian players. But like the online, tally extra bases with face the franchise Santana. After you guys complete that Santana collection, you get him, and really it shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, obviously 2 home runs in online, that can take some time, but really that's basically 2 swings of the bat can really kind of jumpstart your process there. And again, you get another 5 points for that one as well. And then these tallies are extra base hits with Indian shortstops, first baseman, or third baseman. That's just another one where it's like, if you play the game a lot, you're really going to get that one done a lot faster. And the AL Showdown exchanges, those are what you get for doing the showdowns. And one thing I want to talk about here is the exchange Indians rivals. Now, if we'll go into this one here, you need 50,000 exchange values, which basically culminates in pretty much almost a max overall diamond. Not quite a max overall diamond, basically like an 88, 89. So you could basically just do one of those. You could get this Royce Lewis card for I would imagine about 7,000 stubs. And that's actually a very good value, because some of these prospect cards really kind of dropping in value, especially if they're on that base tier. But what I personally like to do, especially for these exchanges, is I'll go with either a 75 silver or a 79 silver, because the 75 silver, for example, is going to give you very, very low price. Like this Luis Arraez. I've never actually heard of that card before, but I mean, like, it's a great example of a card, that's can be pretty cheap to pick up. As you guys can see, it gives you a very good amount of exchange value. It gives you almost 2,000. So that's basically gonna, chip away at that lead, chip away at that exchange value for pretty low price. And honestly, I feel like that's very, very worth it in my opinion. And other things what I'll sometimes do is I'll go for these higher silver cards, because again, you're getting almost double the exchange value, but oftentimes double the price. But if you can find, depends on the collection you're doing, but if you can find a pretty good rival there that's going to be a relatively cheap 79 overall silver, a lot of times starting pitchers and sometimes like outfielders can be kind of generally the cheapest cards, depends on the player, but that's generally what I like to find. I usually like to focus on the starting pitchers, though. I feel like you can get some pretty good deals on those, especially if you place in buy orders. That's also the second thing I'm going to get into for this one is placing buy orders is key. If you're buying them out, you're probably going to be losing out on quite a few stubs. So place buy orders, be patient. The cards will show up in your inventory eventually. So yeah. And another thing I want to talk about here is March to October. March to October is a great way to earn points, especially we're currently right in the brand new stages of Stage 2. But as we kind of head towards Stage 3, what I personally am gonna be doing for the Indians, I know, is I'm gonna be starting March to October. Gonna be getting right before that end of the season evaluation, so I'm already gonna have a couple points, but that means I'm basically gonna have a team loaded up for right when the next stage drops. I can play through it. Probably gonna be playing on a probably veteran difficulty, and that's a pretty good level, I feel like, in my opinion. Right before that, so basically I've already got, we'll say, 11 Infinity points out of the I think it's a max of about 50 you can get on this one. But yeah, I already got my 11 points. Then I'll basically play through the rest of the season. Probably should take me about another hour. Postseason do take a little bit of time, but yeah. So like the third stage drops, I'm basically gonna be almost pretty much to the upon completing that, gonna be pretty much to the card you're gonna unlock it at 170. We don't know who that is yet, but again, that's really a great way to do it, especially if you guys are kind of new to some of these some of these affinities. We'll go here's a great example of one I haven't done yet. So we'll go to the Blue Jays here, and then you go to the March to October. So I have 10 on the first one, probably from playing with some Blue Jays players. But yeah, if I really wanted to get that Vladimir Guerrero card, again, he's not a great face the franchise card, but say I wanted him, what I would do is I would personally go on an All-Star. I feel like All-Stars are pretty it can be challenging sometimes to some of you people, but I really feel like that's probably the best difficulty for doing this. And yeah, you win the World Series. It says likely earnings gonna be there 52 stars. I mean, that's probably about right, but I feel like if you're really winning the World Series, you're probably gonna be getting closer to 60 on that. So that's a great amount of stars. And if I would happen to get to 60 on this one, that would put me at the full 70, so then I can unlock those Stage 2 and go for that Kevin Smith card. So yeah, March to October, another great way to do it. Again, March to October, as compared to Showdown, a lot of people ask this in my comment section. March to October is going to take you a lot longer, but it's going to be a lot more laid back. Really not going to have as much difficulty with it. But Showdown's probably the way gonna be way faster for you, a little bit more difficult. But I feel like that's probably the one I would do if I were you guys. Play the Showdowns. Really, if you implement the tips I gave you, really should not have any problems with that. And yeah. Again, you can do these also. There's these moments as well. You get another three stars. Really not a whole lot, but I mean, if you guys are like desperate, you guys are like maybe at like 67 out of 70. You don't really want to do a whole other showdown or anything like that. This is a great option for that. But again, another thing I want to talk about here is the collections. Obviously, with the Angels, collection is gonna be very difficult, especially with Mike Trout being who he is, right around 250,000 stubs at the time of filming. So yeah, really expensive cards. So yeah. For the Angels, a great example of this is one where you probably wouldn't want to do the collection, probably wouldn't want to do the exchanges for this one. But I'll give you guys a great example here. The Texas Rangers were a team I completed the collection for, and that was because if you look through some of their players here, obviously I've sold a couple of them, but really like the most expensive card is probably gonna be Corey Kluber, probably Joey Gallo actually, just because of that power. But again, like just having like 3 golds on a team really not gonna be that expensive. So if you complete that entire collection, I would imagine for right around maybe 8,000 stubs, and 8,000 stubs is pretty much the same you'd be paying for that collection or for that exchange. But if you kind of factor it in here, you would be getting closer to that Mickey Mantle card if you really are seeing yourself going for that in the future. So yeah, Rangers were a good example of that. But yeah, there's a lot of good ways to earn stars towards these affinity cards. And if you guys are really serious about getting these cards, want to get them as fast as possible, maybe you're a little bit better of a player, I highly recommend doing the showdowns. And yeah, obviously, the better player you are, the faster you can complete them. But even if you're not so great of a player, I really feel like there's a lot of strategy you guys can implement there to really kind of earn yourself the most possible amount of stars as fast as possible. I mean, really, I can probably complete about 2 showdowns, which is going to earn me 40 stars. Could probably complete those, and I would say around maybe 2 hours, especially if I'm playing on the top of my game there. But yeah, I appreciate you guys checking out this YouTube video. Hopefully, these tips helped you out with completing some of these affinity cards, let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, gonna be live on Twitch pretty much every single night for the next couple months. Twitch.tv/its_Cardinal. I appreciate you guys, go check that out. Link's gonna be in the description down below. And yeah, appreciate you guys checking on this YouTube video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.